Because if we
That
go
better?
like 1
that's
second late, people are gonna be like, "Oh, hey, your face is bright."
Maybe
There we
look
go.
up gray.
There we go. That's good.
All right.
I
Look
just
up
turned on
like
the
an
brightness.
like an eggshell white. I think that would do well.
Bro, okay. Egg gel.
Look at this, right? See, it's the instant that it becomes 8:50, people are like, "What the heck? Where's my podcast that I was
That's
promised?"
your own doing, because you say this every week, and then it makes people do that. I'm not want to victim blame, but I'm gonna victim
Now
blame.
this is an old, I don't even know if this person is still here. This was like half an hour ago. Sorry, 13 minutes ago. I know how to tell time. A YouTuber camera under 2,500 US. It's called an iPhone. What? You guys be like mine, shell shocked. Be shell shocked.
It was also 23 minutes ago.
Don't worry about it, okay?
Is that a little
not
better?
necessary. Yeah.
Do you see the flicker? What is that?
I don't really see it.
Looks
Okay.
fine
You see
to
it, Noah?
me.
Did you get a haircut, Noah?
I sure did.
Trim.
Yeah, I feel like an inch shorter now.
Rip. Can't relate.
I can. I'm really short.
How short are you? I mean, how tall are you?
I'm like 5'9".
Oh,
That's not that short.
That's what I
Noah?
am. Yeah.
Wait, I thought you were 5'8".
I think I'm like between 5'8" and 5'9", but I'm
You
pretty
can
sure
lie
I was,
about an inch. You're fine.
You can call it 5'9".
Yeah.
I think I'm about 5'9".
Man, this is a crowded screen here. Also, I feel like I should make my name. I feel like I need to adopt a pun like Noah.
Oh my god, there were comments. I didn't see that. Okay. Should I make my name
Right,
interesting?
mine's not that creative. But that's all I could really think of.
Wait, how do I change mine?
If you go down to your little icon down in the bottom, and you see the little microphone where you can mute the mic, and then there's three little dots. Click on that and do edit name.
Got it. Okay. What should I be?
Look at this. This is a man faced with infinite possibilities and no idea what to do.
I have no idea. Dude, I'm not creative.
An AirPods Max sandwich here. Look at that.
Yeah, I was thinking
Noah in the middle.
Yeah, I know. I'm fine with that.
Can I just?
He says unconvincingly.
Do this. Is that?
Sure, sounds good.
That's what my contact is for everyone. They make the same joke.
That's great.
Ian's. That's a good one. That's what I have you in my phone as.
Oh, okay, great.
Well, actually, it's just Ian Elbow, but I guess Ian's elbow. That's I guess more clever, arguably.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Wow, look at that. Ooh, gotta get some chapstick in here. Don't want chapped lips, ladies and gentlemen. That's a very important tip. That's the biggest tech tip of them all.
Bro, I'm turning this down. I look like I'm pastier than Sam. Okay, is that fine?
You do look pastier than Sam. I feel like
What's more than eggshell?
Just look up full on beige. Try that.
Yeah.
What if I turn up the contrast? No.
Look up what you want your skin tone to be.
That's an interesting theory.
Let's see what he's got. This is Ian using his professional studio light, also known as a screen.
Yep.
What screen is it?
It's my 27-inch LG. It's 4K at least. Yeah.
That's a 4K light, ladies and gentlemen. This is a real professional.
You know it. I'm trying to think if I could. I have like a desk light. Dude, my room is just not set up for this.
Really? You're not set up to be a podcaster? The hell?
I'm not.
What's wrong with you? Oh, yeah. Also, Ian, go ahead and when we start the podcast, we're gonna need a QuickTime audio recording so that I can split
okay.
audio.
Sure. Give me a sec.
Noah, do you think people actually listen to this podcast?
Like live or like on podcast platforms?
Like on podcast platforms? Do you think
You
anyone
know, I
does?
was talking to my parents the other day, and they asked the same question. Let's check Spotify for 1 second. Where do I see this?
Okay,
Our-
I'm just in QuickTime. That's fine. Just like audio recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You don't
I'm
have to
going.
start it yet.
Yeah, I'm going more. What's more than beige?
What, more than beige? Oh man, we're getting serious here.
We're getting like no. That's there you go.
That look of acknowledgement there. He's like, "Uh-oh.
It's the best you're getting.
Oh no."
I think it's fine.
That works. 4K HDR light. There we go.
Oh, it's like the
That's-
fake HDR. Okay.
Yeah, is that an actual HDR monitor that you've got there?
No, it's like the HDR 500 or whatever. Like it can display an HDR video, but that's about it.
Oh, but it's not like
No.
It doesn't have the contrast. It doesn't have all the
No, it can
juicy
play a
features.
YouTube video. That's what it means.
It's not the 14-inch MacBook Pro is what you're saying.
No, I'm looking at that too though. So
Is that what you're streaming from?
it is because my PC it has just the worst Wi-Fi ever.
Hmm.
I bought a
Those
PCIe
the
card.
built-in- Oh, not good.
Well, it gave me a blue screen. So
Good.
yeah,
Nice.
every time, literally everything works. I updated so many things, and then I plug in that little PCIe, gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, these are the issues that you get with the PC. I'm sorry to say it's
Okay,
Ian,
what do you want me to do?
idiot?
Buy 10 M1 Maxes? Like,
Yeah, that.
is that what you did?
I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I got my RTX 3080. Yeah, you try to connect to the internet and you blue screen. Call me when you can reliably connect to the internet.
Okay, I'm saving up for the Mac Pro.
Dude. Okay, well we got to talk about that today on the podcast. Not yet,
definitely.
Yeah.
because it's not the
Mm.
podcast yet. But oh boy,
How did you put that video out so quickly?
I
It
don't
was
know.
in like an hour.
You know, the best part is I woke up. I only started filming it like, when did that news drop? Like 10?
Yeah, I texted you at 10:30.
Yeah, I woke up like an hour after that.
Yeah, you woke up at 11:30.
Yeah, and that's when I started filming.
That's fine.
So I got it out pretty quick. Sometimes I'm a quick boy. And that's why I missed one. Like I went, sometimes when I do quick turnaround news videos, I'll go through it and just cut it once and export it without, like, usually I watch through a video like a couple times and like tweak stuff and make sure it's all good. Noah, I know, watches through his videos like 80 times before he uploads them every once a year.
Yeah, well, my output is a lot lower, so I can afford to do that.
Yeah, I took a much faster quick time, but yes, I was able to get it out so quickly because I left my one mistake in like a year of videos, and then I get 7 billion comments until the heat death of the universe telling me, "Oh, hey, you forgot to cut that part out," and I'm like, "Thank you." Gonna jump off a bridge.
What was the mistake? I didn't watch that video yet.
I don't know. I didn't watch it either.
You
You
said
don't even know what if it
you were-
was like really compromising?
No, it wasn't. You were listing like
I just read out my social security number.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. No, you were like Mac
Dang it.
Mini, MacBook Air. You like stopped and redid it.
Oh dang! Someone,
Wow, that's so
someone on
embarrassing for
Twitter-
you.
Yeah, really.
funny.
Just oh god, I might as well jump into the Potomac over here. Let me see what it was. Someone, it was an interesting take that I did not think about. Yeah, here it is. They said, "Not gonna lie, I kind of like it when YouTubers miss something small in editing. It gives us a peek into your video making process." And I was like, that's interesting. I never really thought about it like that. I'm going to go with that. I gave you guys a peek into my video making process. You're welcome.
Yeah,
That's
there
your
you
behind
go.
the scenes.
So with that, why don't we go ahead and start the podcast here, huh?
Yeah.
Record this.
All right. Start your audio, fellas.
Okay, it is working. Here, wait, real quick. Smile. There you go.
Dang it, I missed it. I was too slow. I flipped you off, but it was too late. Anyway.
Okay.
Dang it, I did it again.
You missed
Let's
it.
start the podcast.
Idiot.
Start the podcast. Welcome to Dark Mode, the podcast that brings you sage advice from 3 technology experts. And that's not just what we call ourselves. It's what our moms tell people when the Ian is elbow. I'm your host, Luke Miani.
And I'm your host, Noah Rubin. On this show, we take questions from listeners, attempt to answer them to varying degrees of success, and maybe even have a laugh or two along the way.
And we deny our guests a chance to introduce themselves in the intro. So suck it, Ian. Nobody is going to know who you are.
That's fair.
All right, let's just get started then, right?
Speak. Let's get started then.
Let's get started.
No, did we just both do the exact same thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there you go. We're professional. See, this is what real podcast hosts do. They do the same bit and talk over each other.
That's right.
Anyway, enough of that bit. Ian, would you like to introduce yourselves to some people who might not know who you are? Or they probably do know who you are, but maybe they don't connect the name to the face.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't know who I am. My name is Ian, and I run the Twitter Renders by Ian, and I do concept art for Front Page Tech, among others, including Luke, of course. And what was that?
That was my little giggle of affirmation because
He heard his name and he just got really excited.
I did. It's true.
And then, yeah, I mean, that works too. You can just look at my website. I was actually going to have,
for those of you who are listening along, and Ian has just rudely forgotten about you.
I did. Sorry.
I've got a selection of Ian's work up on the screen. Remember AirPods Max? Yeah. Well, no, that wasn't you, Rip.
That was not me, actually.
Nope.
That's
named
like the one that wasn't me.
the one that, remember iPhone 14, iPhone 13, the MacBook Air, the iMac, the Apple Glass that we haven't gotten yet.
Sorry about that.
The Apple Watch Series 7, Rip, that never happened. The iPad Mini, the Mac Mini that we haven't gotten yet. Like the freaking Google Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. AirTag, my goodness, this guy's rendered it all.
Wow, that's a lot more than I expected. Like looking back at that.
That's like a crazy amount of stuff.
Yeah, I have no life.
Boy, you have been a bit, well, that's one way to put it.
Yeah.
You've been a busy bee over there. But I think what we need to do is look forward. I mean, we looked at some of the stuff that you've done in the past. You've worked with John, and I mean, iPhone 13, I think you were pretty much spot on, right? I don't think there was even the tiniest detail that was not accurate.
I think the only thing was in the CAD that he gave me, the buttons were moved down, and when I was recreating it, I did not notice that. So there you go.
Wow. Look at that. There you go. Ian, professional failure. Ian Zelbo is joining us today. I guess the only other thing, I mean, so the iPad Mini was spot on, broadly spot on.
I'm still confused about that because, like, we saw, what do we see? We saw schematics, CADs, and real images where the volume buttons were on the side. So I'm assuming they tried to make a smaller pencil and then it just didn't work.
I'm glad. I think the volume buttons being on the top on the iPad Mini is objectively dumb. Like, I never know which one is up and which one is down. Not a clue. No matter what orientation I'm holding it in or how long I've been using it, I'm like, I don't know. One of these buttons will make it louder and one of them won't. I'll just have to figure it out. 50-50 shot.
Yep.
But I'm glad that they did that instead of making a specific Apple Pencil just.
That would have been so annoying.
iPad Mini.
Like
Or I
imagine
guess it
being in the
might have worked
store.
with anything else.
Imagine being in the store and buying the wrong Apple Pencil, going home being like, I can't charge this.
Yeah,
That
or
would suck.
like it physically wouldn't attach if you used a
Yeah.
different Apple Pencil. It would be so stupid. So I'm glad that they, I get the decision. Let's see, what else did you do last year? Well, you did the iMac. The iMac that you did, I think you missed the bezels in the chin.
When the one for
The
John,
24-inch iMac, not the
like last year.
27-inch.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
wasn't me. I didn't do that.
Well, on your website, there's an iMac.
Oh yeah, that was just based on like
That
what I
wasn't a
wanted.
leak.
No, that was just what I wanted. I don't.
Gotcha.
That's
okay,
actually.
so you nailed the AirTag.
I didn't do that either.
Wait, but why you have an AirTag on your website? What are you
Well,
doing?
because
there, buddy?
I saw like concept creators renders of it and I remade it. The first thing I
so you're
did
a
with John.
cheat.
Yeah, I am a cheat. The first thing I did with John was the Pixel Watch. So then thereon is with John.
Gotcha. Okay, so the MacBook Air we're still waiting on, but
I'm
you
so
got a
excited.
good track record here. The MacBook Air we're waiting on. The Mac Mini we're waiting on.
Yeah.
The
and
iMac 27-inch we're waiting on as well.
That wasn't a leak. That was just me.
That was your concept.
Yeah. I should make that clearer. I feel like that I will do that.
I mean, either way, I don't really see what else would be different on the 27-inch iMac. I can't imagine it would be
I don't know.
radically different. Here, we'll put this back up on the stream here. Ian's 27-inch iMac concept, because I mean, I guess we got to launch into what we're talking about today, which is holy crap. There's a lot of Macs that we're expecting to come out this year, and they all seem to be pretty varying degrees of awesome from everything that we've heard so far. So I do want to take a look here at your concept for the 27-inch iMac, because I think there's not really much that's going to be super different design-wise between the 24 and the 27. I think that is pretty obvious. Apple has always had iMacs that came in different sizes, but never in different designs. Even when they had the iMac Pro as like a separate thing, the only difference was that it was space gray.
Yeah.
So it stands to reason that, give or take a few minor adjustments, the iMac should probably look exactly like this.
Yeah, all I did was take my old 24-inch model and scale it up. But just scaled up the sides and the top. That's all I did. And then added ports. I'm not even
kidding. You get the SD card in here.
Yeah, I didn't.
HDMI.
I didn't start that from scratch.
Yeah, that would be rather a waste of time, I think, to start it from scratch. I mean, I don't really see what else would be any different, frankly.
The one thing people were saying,
design language.
The one thing people were saying was I could put the headphone jack on the back, but I thought that would just be weird to have it on the 24-inch, be on the side, and then the back on the 27-inch.
Oh, I hope it's the back though.
Yeah, same.
Oh man, because I use my iMac with some Logitech speakers plugged into them. They're not great, but they do the job. Because I mean, they're better than the built-in speakers on my iMac Pro, of course. But my goodness, if I'm gonna have an iMac right in front of me with a headphone plug, an ugly green headphone plastic thing hanging off the side, I might jump off a bridge. I mean, I know, Apple, that you have your spatial audio and it's very cool, but I don't want it. I want my own speakers. Please let me do that without a gross, weird little wart hanging off the side of the iMac.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do think it's a little, because I have the same thing. I have a Thunderbolt dock on my desk, and the headphone jack is in the front. So, but I have speakers on my desk, and then I have to, have the wires plugged into the front, and then it snakes around to the back. So it's pretty ugly. But I don't know. I was kind of surprised. I guess they put it on the side because people are going to use headphones with it, but I don't know. I feel like Bluetooth is the thing these days.
Bluetooth is definitely the thing. If I'm going to have, I feel like the headphone jack is more useful for long-term stuff. If I'm going to be using headphones, unplugging it, whatever, I'm probably just going to use Bluetooth ones, but you can use that headphone jack for like legit speakers. So I feel like that makes a lot more sense. I have two questions for you, Ian.
Okay.
And I know that, you're not the leaker here, but we've, both of us have seen some information and, we work with people that do know what they're talking about.
Okay.
Which is a sneaky way of saying that we don't quite know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what guided your decision on the size of the chin as well as which ports are on the back. Like, were there reports that you were using for that?
So for the ports on the back, that was Dylan DKT's report. I just copied that exactly, where he said it was basically the same ports on the new MacBook Pros, but with not with HDMI, with Ethernet.
So you have an HDMI on your render.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. Did I?
Because that seems like an odd choice.
Yeah.
Is that not what he said? It's very possible.
I don't know.
I think he did say HDMI, and a lot of people were confused, but
yeah,
I trust Dylan.
Yeah, I know. I trust Dylan too. I've talked to the guy. He has been, pretty much spot on with all of his stuff. So I absolutely trust the guy. HDMI would be quite an interesting choice. It makes me wonder, is there something else, some other functionality that we're missing? Because, I feel like we've had confusing Apple leaks before, but there's always like, oh, that's why they did that,
Yeah, he says HDMI, SD card, USB-C, and similar design to the iMac 24. But he also says
the power brick.
Probably. And he also says similar design to the Pro Display, that's what confused me. Because he says similar design to the 24-inch and the Pro Display. And unless he just means the stand, like they're pretty different.
That is interesting.
Because he said nothing about the chin.
Could use some clarification on that.
Yep. Here, I will message him right now.
I also want to point out, so I'm just reading through the comments here because we've got some people are very adamant. There will be no HDMI port. Trust me. I don't know if I do, because Dylan is like a credible source. So he definitely carries some weight in terms of, if he says there's HDMI, then I don't know if there 100% is, but then there's some reason to it. I think the Thunderbolt 3 ports, having 3 of those makes a lot of sense. That mirrors what we see on the MacBook Pro. But I would like 4. I feel like 4, it would be weird, or I guess the 27-inch iMac technically has 2, even though the iMac Pro, when it existed, had 4. So I guess 3 wouldn't technically be a downgrade.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, like, also that because the 24 has 4 USB-C ports, but it's 2 Thunderbolt and 2 USB. So having 3 Thunderbolt that's still an upgrade.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm looking at the render though. It just seems on the render that there's only 1 port marked as Thunderbolt and the other 2 aren't. Is that like on purpose, or are all 3 of them Thunderbolt?
So I've never owned an iMac with Thunderbolt because I only have a 2014 iMac. So I wasn't sure if they just had 1 or if they had 4. Like,
wait, let me check. Let me look on the back of my iMac Pro right now.
I had no idea.
I think on the 24 it probably has 2 marked with them. And
yeah, because it had.
Oh,
it did.
Oh, take
What's
a
the
guess.
News?
It's not what I expected. I just looked. So
Does it
I'm
have
on
nothing?
the iMac Pro. I have 4 USB Type A and 4 USB Type C.
Oh,
is it one marking and there's like a line on either side of it or something?
Nope.
Is it nothing?
Nope.
Okay, there's 1 more. Is it all 4?
That is not all 4.
Then what is it? I
No,
don't
you
know.
were half right. It is one. There's one marking of USB. There's like a Thunderbolt icon,
Uh-huh.
but it doesn't make any sense. It's between the first two of the USB-Cs. It's like above it in the middle, and that's it.
So
And
are
then
only
there's
those
more next to it.
two Thunderbolt and the other two are just
No,
regular?
they're all Thunderbolt,
Okay, so I'm a
That's
little right.
weird.
right?
That's weird.
Are you
I
sure?
don't know.
I'll look again. Look,
No, I mean,
will
are you
put a
sure that
picture
all
of it.
4 of them are USB or Thunderbolt and not just
Almost
USB-C?
positive.
I don't
iMac
believe
That's
you.
Pro
Weird.
Looking it up, too.
technical specifications. I mean, I don't. To my knowledge, Apple never shipped stuff with a mix of Thunderbolt and non-Thunderbolt.
Well, the 24-inch iMac.
The 24-inch iMac.
Well,
but
until
before,
the 24.
Yeah,
that's
4
true.
Thunderbolt 3 USB-C ports. That's what it has. Taken
That's
straight from their website.
Weird.
Okay. Well, I don't really know what I was doing, but
But the rumor
What?
is that all 3 of them would be
Well,
Thunderbolt.
technically, I mean, here's the
Wait,
thing. though,
look,
'cause,
this is
Ian, I
on-
think you were right
Look.
because it's
Oh,
like
no,
it's like in the
where's my
middle.
camera? Look.
Yeah. So one marking kind of applies to them all.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
okay.
what I was going for.
Yeah. So you.
That wasn't so
Yeah,
clear,
I think
sorry.
that's probably what it would be. Anyway, that was a lot of
Okay.
discussion over a very meaningless feature. I did want to address this question in the chat, or not really a question. It's more of a statement. The SD card wouldn't slide all the way into the iMac.
It
It
will.
doesn't now.
It will.
It doesn't on the MacBook Pro. What?
No,
What do you
basically,
mean?
in my thing, since it's on the back, I made sure. So I took the MacBook Pro AR model, and it actually had the inside modeled, and I took that
Yeah.
and to size put it in my model, and it fit.
No, I'm sure it'll fit, but I think they were saying like the SD card won't sit flush
yeah.
in the slot.
Yeah, it'll stick out.
But
yeah.
Yeah,
it never has. Like
yeah.
I've
it
got an
always
SD card
sticks out.
plugged in right now. Half of it is sticking out. The MacBook
Yeah.
Pro, half of it is sticking out. So for people that are like, oh, it's not thick enough for an SD card slot. I mean, there you go. Ian's got the proof right there. He has the model with the actual dimensions and it fit without, I mean, I assume there was a little bit of tolerance, right?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
make it
I just
display
would
panel and
stick it
whatnot.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave it enough room. I know what I'm doing.
SD card could be on the side. It used to be. I almost certainly believe that it won't. It used to back before 2012. The SD card was on the side of the iMac. Did you guys know that?
I did.
I don't know if I remember that, but I feel like that makes more sense than the headphone jack. Like the headphone jack, sometimes you want it on the side, sometimes
Right?
you don't. I feel like the SD card, you probably always want it on the side, right?
Because the thing is, a headphone jack is something that you are either going to be plugging and unplugging or leaving plugged in
Right.
all the time.
right.
An SD card is always something that you're going to be plugging and unplugging. It's never just like plug it and leave it. So if anything is going to be on the side, it's the SD card. But I somehow doubt that they'll do it. I'd love it if they did. It'd be so convenient. What if it's on the bottom? What if it's like below the Apple
bottom?
logo? Like you got to feed it or something.
Like the iMac
where the
G3?
speakers are.
Like a little pop out.
Yeah, where you stick it up there and then the Apple and it just like gobbles it up and it makes like a little munching sound, like a little Minecraft munching sound. I would like that. I think they should do that. What if it's on the stand?
No, because
Don't worry about
You-
it, Ian. Ian, we've lost
I
him.
think Ian's frozen.
no.
But you know where it should be is on the power brick with the Ethernet.
am I good now?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Because if there's one thing that you want to do when you're like plugging and unplugging something, it's crawl under your table to the power brick and then do it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I broke
like
my
that.
14-inch MacBook Pro trying to zoom in. So that's
What the heck?
fun. Okay, I'm back. What I was going to say is it couldn't be in the stand because of the VESA ones. Right? Don't they have the VESA
Really?
mount? Do they still sell those? Do they not?
Oh, true. Yeah, I mean, I was just joking about it's not
Oh.
going to be on the stand. That'd be
Okay.
goofy.
You never
Imagine
know.
running like that port all the way up through there. That would be so stupid.
Speaking of which, I used an SD card reader on my new MacBook Pro yesterday, and I felt like an absolute idiot.
What?
No, like an external SD card reader.
Yeah, no, I figured that much out.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
Oh,
figure
you
out how
forgot
you were
that there
dumb
was-
enough to do that.
You
It
forgot
was
there
even
an
on the
SD card
side.
slot?
I plugged in, like, next to the SD card slot. I plugged in
Oh
the
my
USB-C
God.
port.
Oh no.
And then you were using a slower interface
Oh,
because
absolutely.
it was almost certainly not UHS-2 like the MacBook Pro is.
Nope. It's like a $4 SD card reader.
Nice going there.
Thank
The
you.
dongle, it takes time. We're like in rehab for
No,
the
I
dongle
know.
lifestyle. It's been 5 years. You can't shake that overnight. It takes a while.
Having HDMI just does not feel right. Like, I was plugging in my computer and my monitor. I was honestly looking for a dongle. I was like, oh my God. It just,
You just put it right in. No, it's amazing. I honestly have never been so like infatuated with a MacBook Pro.
it's so
But
good.
okay, I want to say something maybe a little controversial.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited.
All right.
I really like the new design. I think it looks great. It's got, all the ports, the battery, it's great. It's fantastic.
How dare you?
No, but that's not the controversial
idiot.
part, Noah.
Okay.
I was using my 15-inch 2019 Butterfly keyboard Intel MacBook Pro, and I
Mhm.
was like, dang, this is kind of a good design. It's kind of a good form factor.
No. The screen,
Because,
dude,
okay,
I
but
cannot
here's the
go
thing.
back.
Here's the thing. No,
What did
I
you
can't
like
go
about
back
it?
either. I think, okay, first of all, it is significantly thinner and significantly lighter.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair.
You can't deny that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 15-inch display is smaller than my 16-inch. But if you took like the bezel, shrink the bezels down and like imagine taking the new design over to that, I think that would be so good.
No, I disagree with you.
What do you how?
Dude,
A
the
thin and light 15-inch like mid-range MacBook
Okay,
Pro.
I
with
just
an
don't like that
M1.
design. I don't like that design anymore. Like, something with the rounded edges, it just feels so good.
Okay, well, what about not that design like the
You
visual
just mean being
look.
thick?
The
Like, you want to be a thinner.
the footprint and the dimensions.
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely. That would be amazing.
So like take the design language that we have now. 15-inch screen, thin and light, same weight, same thickness, whatever. With like a scaled back like an M2. Would
Sounds
that
like
not
the
be
MacBook
really
Air.
compelling?
That sounds like the
What-
larger MacBook Air thing that Gurman was talking
I
about.
want that to be a thing. I want that to be real. That seems like it would be so good. Cause like
I think it
like,
will
I
be
tried-
real.
You think so?
I don't.
Maybe not 15-inch, maybe 13-inch, but other than that, I think it'll be real.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
like a
13-inch,
13-inch,
yeah.
definitely. I don't think a
feel like
larger
that's a
MacBook
given.
Air. I feel like makes sense. Or doesn't make sense. Okay, I brought a prop
not?
today. This thing needs to be remade. The
What is
12-inch
that?
MacBook.
The 12-inch? Oh, I've got
Dude,
one too.
it is like I can hold it with like it's
No, dude, it's awesome.
I picked it up and almost dropped it. Like, this thing is the perfect size. Imagine putting M1
Okay,
in
well
this.
wait a minute.
Yes.
Do you have a CAD file of the 12-inch MacBook Pro? Because the 12-inch MacBook? Because I have a feeling that if
No.
you put it in a scene with your 13-inch MacBook Air render, you might find that they're not that different in size.
Maybe I don't know. Like,
Hmm?
dude, this thing is small.
It's small. Okay, yeah, it's small, but like, okay, wait.
Okay, I'm
Look
waiting.
at this. Look at this.
Okay.
Let's go back on your website here. Get the heck out of here. Look at
I'm
that.
just waiting for it
Smooth,
all to
easy
crash.
navigation.
Dude, I'm
Wow.
like I'm sweating.
Okay. So because the keyboard ostensibly is roughly the same size because Apple's keyboards are all very similar. So this is adding I guess you'd be adding an extra like half
Okay.
an inch of. Now, it is
Look,
definitely.
it literally goes to the edge. I did not know this still
Yeah.
worked. Wow.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
don't know.
I
It
I
is
really
it is
I really would
small.
like to see that design. But I mean, like,
Imagine it
if
like
you were to if you were to
$800. That would just
remake
be
if you were to remake 12-inch MacBook, the problem is I don't think you could remake the 12-inch MacBook because the bezels on that thing are kind of chunky,
I
and
know.
if
I
you
just
got rid of
realized.
them, it wouldn't be very 12-inch anymore. It'd be almost a 13-inch.
Okay, you're right. I don't know.
So
I love
maybe
this
this
thing.
MacBook Air is like the spiritual successor to it. Like maybe it's very similar in thinness, a little bit bigger footprint, but
I
wouldn't
guess
you
that
get like
yeah.
most of what made the 12-inch good?
I wonder if it also lines up with the old pricing, like how you had the $999 MacBook Air, and then what was this $1,300 for the like $1,299 for the MacBook? Because
Yeah. So well, dude, that you're talking about like 2018 because
yeah,
that was a
no,
weird time.
yeah, that time.
2018 made no goddamn sense whatsoever because
I
okay, here's
know,
how the lineup went. You could buy the old MacBook Air, the old gen, for $999.
which was
You
a
could buy
complete ripoff.
the new one at the time, which was the butterfly keyboard with the newer design language for $11.99, and then for $12.99 you could get the 12-inch MacBook, and also for $12.99 you could get the no touch bar MacBook Pro, and then for $14.99 for $17.99 you could get the touch bar 4-port. They had way too much going
No,
on.
I know. It made no sense.
It was
But
so busy.
I feel like this would make sense because aren't we hearing that it's supposed to have mini LED? So I feel like I don't know. I feel like their
It's gonna be
lineup
more expensive than $999. I think they're gonna do a
definitely
M1 a MacBook Air for $999,
just the same
M2
design.
for $12.99. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
that makes sense.
Oh no, I've had another frightful thought, but first, I feel obligated to put up the super chats because thank you, but also I hate putting up super chats. And if you're listening along, then guess what? You don't have to suffer. I won't make you listen to it. So I've just had a frightening thought.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. So Ian, I don't know if you saw this. Noah, I don't know if you saw this, but Gurman was saying that the entry level MacBook Pro, the M1, is gonna get updated with
Oh God.
ostensibly the new design.
Are they gonna make that the colored one? Like the
I don't think so. But it's
can't have
it's
three, like,
weird
the
to
same
me. Here's the
price.
thing.
Okay.
They can't have three at the same price. So I wonder if they're gearing us up for some more subtle but noticeable price increases. So right
I don't know.
now, because the M1s just stayed in place, right? But so far, the iMac dropped the old $1099 starting price. The 14-inch dropped the $1799 starting price. They're ticking them up a little bit, or at least they did last year. And those all the new designs, the M1 iMac and the M1 Pro MacBook Pro, when they've had a new design, they've ticked up the price $200. So what if by the end of 2022, it's too many. I hate saying this year sucks. 2022.
No, I know it's awful.
Oh my God, I hate it.
It doesn't feel like a year.
I can't wait for February 22nd at 2:22 p.m. That's going to be a mess. So imagine this. $999 MacBook Air M1. I feel like it's reasonable to expect they'll keep that around because this new
Yeah,
MacBook
definitely.
Air design with M2 and mini LED ain't no way that's going to be $999. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Not in a
there's
million
no
years.
way.
No freaking way. So that'll move up to $11.99. And then the MacBook Pro will get the new design, like it'll look like the 14-inch, maybe a little smaller, maybe a little thinner, with M2 as well, more ports. mini LED, and ProMotion, and they'll move that up to $14.99.
That will be an insane deal, though.
Do you think so? Because I don't know. I feel like I think it would still be pretty good, but you would get people saying this is price creep.
I don't know. I feel like the M1 Pro is fast, but it's not that much faster than M1. And I feel like having probably even better battery life, thinner and lighter,
That's true.
and $400 less. I don't know. I would buy that instead of.
It's true. Maybe that's too good. Maybe that's too good. Maybe no promo. Well, okay. How about this? No ProMotion.
No ProMotion. That makes sense.
Same thickness, same battery life, because it's a smaller footprint at 13 inches, so the battery wouldn't be that much larger, but maybe a little thinner. So 17 hours of battery, M2, the ports, mini LED but no ProMotion, $14.99 with 8 gigabytes and 256.
Okay, well, suddenly that's not a good deal.
Exactly. The 8 and 256 is what.
Yeah, because then it's $400 extra to get 16 and 512, which is already what the 14-inch starts at.
Okay, so then it has to have ProMotion, because otherwise that would be a pointless product. And then it becomes a good deal again.
It's so confusing. I don't know how they do this.
Oh, no.
Well, I guess, but you got to think that there's some people, like, I'm sure there are plenty of people who would be more than happy with the base model, right? Even if it's 8 gigs and 256, there are plenty of people who are going to be happy with that, and they're not going to need to upgrade. Or maybe they'll upgrade one thing. They want more. I feel like more people would upgrade the storage than the memory, right? So maybe they'll say, okay, I'll get the extra storage, $200 more, but I'll keep the memory. I feel like for a lot of people, obviously I feel like for a lot of people, they'd be fine with the $999 MacBook Air, obviously, but then this one is like, the step up, and it's definitely nicer in a lot of ways, but it's not, the MacBook Pro. I feel like not everyone is playing the same game. Like, it's a good game to play where you think about, compare it to in price, but a lot of people aren't going to do that necessarily.
That's fair. That's very true. Another interesting take. So in this particular scenario, you would get the MacBook Air would be effectively bumped up by $200, but I think that would be a fair increase. Like, I think your renders with mini LED and then probably not ProMotion, M2, I think that's worth $11.99.
Definitely.
I think that's going to be a great deal.
I think that's an amazing deal.
Same with the MacBook Pro at $14.99. I think that would still be a good deal too.
Yeah.
Especially if, currently the $14.99 MacBook Pro has 512. So if they gave that thing 512, then it would be like hands down. But, price creep, sure. Whether it's worth it or not is up to you. But this is an interesting comment here. It's price creep, yes, but you also have to account for inflation, which is arguably a fair point, because Apple's price points, I actually talked about, well, I didn't talk about this anywhere, but I was remarking because I was watching back on some old iMac keynotes from back in the day, and the starting price of $12.99 has been around since like 2001.
Oh my God.
They've had a couple ones that dropped down to like 1,100 or 11.99, but pretty much $12.99 has been the starting price for the iMac for forever. And that's actually really interesting, because if you look at 2001, I'm pulling up an inflation calculator here. $12.99 in 2001 is not the same as $12.99 now. So do you want to? I'll give you each one guess.
Oh God.
Realistically, given that 2001 was about 20 years ago. I
wasn't alive. I have no idea.
How much do you think $12.99 is now? $1,299 today's money.
I'm gonna go with I don't know, 1,800.
I was gonna go 1,850.
1850. All right, so
promise you I
it's
had that before.
actually it's $2,040.
Wow.
So that I think gives you a lot of perspective, actually, because it's easy to look back and be like, "Oh wow, look at that! iMacs have been $12.99 all along." They actually haven't, technically, if you think about it. Because I mean, we might not notice inflation on day-to-day level, but Apple certainly does, because they're selling products at a standard price point, and that money is worth less every year that they do it. So, I mean, I think there's general fluctuations, but I think by and large, Apple products haven't actually gotten all that much more expensive.
Yeah, and I don't even think I don't know, everyone always thinks that like Apple products are so expensive. Like I think they're some of the best deals. Like the MacBook Air at
Oh, the
$899
MacBook Air?
education. Like that's just
Dude,
nuts.
yeah.
Like you can't get even close to that. Like I
I
see
think
like all
I
these
think that's a new
PCs.
thing, though. I don't think that was the case.
No, that's
Well.
fair. That's fair.
And I don't think the same applies with the new MacBook Pros, actually. I don't think that they're as hands down a good deal as the M1s. I think the
Yeah.
M1 MacBook Air is the best deal on the planet. Even if they leave it in place, and put the new MacBook Air on top of it, I don't care. The M1 is still a good deal. Even with an old design and a, old chip when the M2 comes out, it is miles ahead of even, it's already been out a year. Nobody has beaten it in terms of like that amount of speed, a good display, fast storage, fantastic battery life, unbeatable build quality at that price point. I don't think there's a single laptop out there that can beat it in every way.
Yeah, it's not even close. I've recommended
I don't think the same
Air
is true
to
for
so
like
many
the
people.
14 and the 16 inch. I think they're not as I think they're good. And I think they're good for what people want to do with them, but I don't think they're like, blowing away everything in the PC world. You can get a $2,000 PC laptop that is comparably nice and comparably fast or faster.
Yeah, you can get I think even like a 3070 laptop for like it's either like 1600 or 1700.
Yeah.
It's like the what's it called? The
And you can get like a nice one with good build quality and good battery.
Yeah.
For comparable amounts of money. But now, so here's the thing that I'm curious about. The original MacBook Pro, the first one ever, started at $1999.
I have
which
one.
is the price point that we
Should
have.
I get it?
Oh, you have one of the original ones?
Yeah, like the original. Let me get it.
Oh boy, here he goes.
It is stuck in a boot loop. I don't know if you can still hear me.
He's very distant, but he is still there. There it is.
It is
the
stuck.
OG.
It is stuck in a boot loop. You turn it on and it starts playing the song that you love. You go through the setup.
I love that.
It plays it again, over and over again. I don't know.
Oh, that's good. That's what you want.
That's what you want.
Not really.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. People will look back on previous MacBook
smaller
Pros.
bezels
Remember,
than like anything.
it does have pretty small bezels. Although
Also,
I can actually beat you. I can beat you on bezels. Are you ready?
What do you got?
And this is older. This is a PowerBook G4 titanium. Look at those bezels, dude.
That's nuts.
This is older than you. This is from 2001.
Like the bottom bezel is like twice as thin as the new MacBook Pros. Like,
right? What the heck?
so odd. Oh
okay,
God,
granted they didn't have webcams to deal with, so a little different. Okay, here's the thing.
God,
Talking about
identical.
inflation here.
Look at it from the side. It's like literally
the MacBook Pro that Ian is holding up right there. The original one in its base configuration started at $1999. So
it did.
That is, and keep in mind. Remember when we were doing the iMac thing? That was a 20-year inflation. This is only 16 years, 2006. Actually, it's almost exactly the 16th anniversary of the MacBook Pro. It came out the first week of January in 2006. So we're exactly 16 years later. That MacBook Pro that you just held up cost $1,999 new. Now, you could argue and say, hey, that's the larger one. So don't compare that to the 14-inch, which has that same starting price. Compare it to the 16-inch. So how much do you think $2,000 in 2006 money is worth just 16 years later? What is
Honestly,
that in today's dollars?
I'm just embarrassed that my parents bought this. Like, it's got to be like, what, like 40? No, wait, it's 2,000. Is that what you said?
What?
It's $2,000.
$2,000 in 2006 is what it was new. How much do you think it's today's dollars?
3,700.
3,700?
I don't know.
I think it's like 3,000.
Okay, your inflation curves have increased even though this is more recent, but it's $2,756 in today's money, which is more expensive than the starting price for a 16-inch MacBook Pro. So, there's fluctuations here, but they have not gotten more expensive beyond, last year it was $23.99 and now it's $24.99. Broadly, over the 16-year history of the MacBook Pro, they have, on average, gotten about $250 cheaper, which is interesting, I think.
I can't believe this thing is so
Not to say that
expensive.
they're cheap, of course.
I don't know. Why did they buy this? Was the MacBook Air out then?
In 2006, no.
No, it wasn't.
The comparable would have been the MacBook.
Oh yeah, I have the first Air somewhere with like the flippy out ports. I love that.
Yeah, I've got one of those too. It's actually kind of cool. I kind of like it.
No, it's like really cool. I remember.
Terrible though. They used iPod hard drives.
Yeah, I remember that.
What the hell was that? Why did they do that?
I think I might have learned that in your video.
I'm sure you did. I'm very educational. But you know what? The original iBook G3 back in the day, which was, the entry-level Mac, that came out in 1999. It cost $999. That's $1,700 now, and that was the cheapest Apple laptop. So technology has gotten a lot cheaper in the last 20 years, like it or not. Well, like it, yes, but believe it or not. It's kind of interesting.
It's like really a trade-off between there's like inflation and then there's technology getting cheaper, but then there's also you're using the latest technology, which is, more expensive than the older technology. It's, I don't know. It's like a trade-off. It's kind of interesting.
It's like a Venn diagram, like one of those three-way Venn diagrams.
Yeah.
And at the middle is Tim Cook, and he's making a lot of money.
He's happy in the middle.
He sure is. I feel like we got off topic here. We started talking about inflation. We were talking about what we're expecting. Oh, the Mac Mini. I want to talk about the Mac Mini.
Okay.
I think I'm probably more excited for the Mac Mini. No, that's a lie. I think the MacBook Air is going to be my favorite.
The Mac Pro is going to be my favorite. I've been saving up for so long.
Oh, shoot.
Dude,
we have so much to look forward to.
I know. Like the M1 Max, I don't know what we're going to call it. Quadro.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't freaking get what they're playing at with this naming scheme.
No, it makes no sense.
Like M1X, when we all thought it was M1X, I was like, okay, that's fine. You can do M1Z, you can do M1T. I don't know. It's a little weird at first, but we'd get used to it. When they said M1 Max, they give themselves a dead end.
It makes no sense because what do you do
after that?
M1 Pro Max? Like, imagine getting the Mac Pro Max. Like,
no,
it's just like, or Mac Pro Max even, because there's going to be the larger Mac Pro. Like, that honestly might be the name. I'm not even kidding.
Well, so here's the thing though. Only the M1 Max is going to scale.
Yeah.
Like from what I've seen, Noah, we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
The M1 Max die photographs that showed like that connection interface. I think someone else also pointed out that there's like 2 neural engines on the M1 Max die.
I saw that today.
Which is super weird. I'm not sure what that's all about. They could also just have photoshopped it to cover something else up. That was another theory that someone proposed. So there's a lot of weirdness, but I think the clear thing is that the M1 Max is going to be the one that duplicates the M1. There's not going to be like 2 M1 Pro as an option.
Yeah, because that would just be double the CPU cores.
It'd just be
of an M1
it'd
Max.
just be very strange. I don't think it would really make a lot of sense. But I mean, with the Mac Pro, 40 CPU cores, 128 GPU cores.
Oh my god, that's gonna be amazing.
Insane.
It's gonna be so expensive.
The thing is, though, it's going to cost a fortune. I'm not sure how the scaling is going to go. Also, I imagine it's probably going to have like 128 gigs of RAM, at least to start.
Oh,
so
I'm
that's
sure.
at least going to be.
Oh well,
bro, it's going to be 10 grand before you even get started.
So when's that new 4080 coming out? I'm gonna upgrade to that.
Because that's that's the thing. I don't think the Apple Silicon is going to be able to scale up that much.
I don't think so either.
Because when you're talking about combining these dies, you're going to be running into some like limitations of scaling pretty quickly. And so I have a feeling that we're going to be throwing. Well, I don't know if you're going to get the new Mac Pro. I know I am. I sat out the 2019 one because I was too broke back then. But I don't have that excuse. I got to do it this time.
I'll get the small one. No, I won't, because that's just not enough power. Dang it. You really ruined my dreams here.
That's the problem. It's like, I want to get the full fat 40 core, but I'm going to get sticker shock so bad when they're like, hey, it's $25,000 and it has like
I wouldn't be
terabyte of
surprised.
Storage.
Mm-hmm. No, 256. What do you mean?
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to start at 256. I can't believe they did that in 2019. And the fact that it's still
shipping.
That's nuts. It's still shipping with an RX 580 for $6,000.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, it's a 5-year-old GPU and a $6,000 machine.
That is ridiculous.
A quarter terabyte of storage. It's unfathomably stupid.
Yep.
But the thing that stresses me out is, okay, so this new Mac Pro, I imagine, will start with 2 M1 Max chips.
Yeah.
So let's say we started with that. We started with the terabyte, and I mean it would start with 64 gigabytes of RAM, unified memory, right? Because it's just 2 of the chips.
Yeah.
So, that's $6,000, as far as I'm concerned. That right there is going to be 6,000,
and that's not even that powerful. Like, that's like 2 3060s.
Pretty, yeah.
GPU wise, that is not powerful. CPU wise, that's probably like a 5950X.
CPU wise will be pretty good.
But
CPU wise, it'll be pretty beastly. But the thing is, I mean, let's see, how much does Apple charge you to upgrade once you're in because then maybe we could figure out how much those upgrades will be once you try to get to that big 40 core one.
Do you really think that it's going to start at $6,000 though? Because the current one starts at like, does it still start at 5, or was that the previous
5,999 is the current Mac Pro? Yep.
Yeah.
But that's just like if you're putting a second, as like you take the 16-inch MacBook Pro, right? You put a second M1 Max in, but then you take out the screen and like the keyboard and trackpad and all that other stuff. Like, it doesn't need to be like, maybe it'll be 6,000, but it doesn't.
All right. Well, here's the thing though. So if I spec out a MacBook Pro right now with the M1 Max, 64 gigabytes of RAM, and a terabyte of storage, that's $3,899.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what Noah and I both have, foolishly.
Yes.
So
I have all the way base.
So just to go from 32 to 64 gigabytes of RAM is $400. In what we've proposed with 2 M1 Maxes, it's 128 gigabytes of RAM. So that's $800 on top of this. Another M1 Max, I mean, that was a $400 upgrade just from the Pro to the Max. So adding an entire additional M1 Max, I feel like that's $1,000 upgrade. Because
you also have like
that also adds the additional RAM.
You also have the enclosure too, like with hopefully some upgradability. Like,
I'm skeptical about upgradability.
I think the only upgradability is going to be like, I don't know. I feel like
maybe storage.
Just like, or no, like maybe you could just like add on another M1 Max, just like. Or what if it was like a Mac Mini? You
MPX
could just
modules with M1 Maxes, and you can just
that would be
buy
sick.
and add M1 Maxes.
That would be really cool.
That would be cool.
What if? Wait, okay. I've had a theory.
Okay.
It's nuts. It's stupid. I'm gonna bring back the screen share for this.
Okay.
So if I go here and I try to build a Mac Pro, do you remember their whole MPX module shtick about, you know, the Vega 2 Duo?
Yeah.
They had that nomenclature here. I don't know if they still have that in. Yes, they do. Look at this. Radeon Pro W6800X Duo or 2 Radeon Pro W6800X Duo. Picture this. M1 Max, M1 Max Duo, and then you can add 2 M1 Max Duo for 4. That gets you 40 cores, and then you would basically have this drop down with a matrix of like whether you're adding an M1 Max with 24 GPU cores, so you could get 48. You could have 64 gigabytes of RAM or 128 gigabytes of RAM, or 256 gigabytes of RAM if you do all 4 with 64, or you could have 128 gigabytes of RAM split 32, 32, 32, 32. Like, there's a lot of different combinations you could make. But what if they use that nomenclature? What if they use that 2 M1 Max Duo, and that's how you get to the 40 core Mac Pro? What do you think?
I like that. I like that. I think that would be really, really interesting. And it would probably be easier for them. Like,
and if you can upgrade it with an MPX module,
that would be so great.
That would be very interesting.
The only thing that worries me is that we're hearing that the next Mac Pro will be like smaller. Like,
true.
There's not a lot of space in there.
True. And we also don't know. So as far as I'm aware, the connection for, like, from what I've seen, attaching 2 M1 Maxes is a different mechanism than making it before. So that's why I think that it could be like an MPX module type of thing, because you can bundle 2 of them with that hardware connection, and then it seems like there's some other thing to allow 2 of those to turn into 4.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I could see because there's a little piece on the bottom of the chip, so I could see that like the 2 of them connect in that way, or maybe all 4 of them, if there are 4, would like all connect to one. There'd be like a central thing, and then there would be 4 connections for the 4 chips coming off of that. I don't know how the connection would work, but I could see either one.
But it sounds like a mess.
I don't know.
Man, I don't get it. It's gonna be pricey though, because I mean, I just looking at what we were doing there with the MacBook Pro, right? I think maybe $49.99 to start with 2 M1 Maxes, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage, and then maybe that would even be the bin, so 48 GPU cores. Maybe that would be $49.99.
I don't think that's insane. I think, like, I know it starts $59.99 and whatever. They could do it at that price. I'm not saying that they will, but they could do it at that price. They could do that machine that you're describing.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that might be not the worst starting price. I think it just depends on the upgrade prices, because I think the M1 Max is a very large and expensive chip. So to have 4 of them, it's not going to come cheap.
No, it's really not.
It's going to be 10 grand at least.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I've been really confused lately, thinking about like all of the different leaked like Pro Macs that are coming out. Not
Yeah.
Pro Max, Pro Mac
Oh
plural.
god, it's a mess.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
awful. Oh
Ugh.
my god. So you have the normal M1 Mac Mini, and then you have
Yeah.
I was about to say M1X, the M1 Pro and M1 Max Mac Mini, the one that I did with John. And then there's this smaller, or no, then there's like what John leaked a few months ago, and I've seen kind of recently, which looks like 3 or 4 Mac Minis just like on top of each other. And then there's the smaller Mac Pro, and then there's the bigger Mac Pro. Like how could they possibly first price it all, but also naming like Mac
I don't know if
Mini,
there's
Mac Mini Pro, Mac Pro Mini, Mac Pro, like it just
yeah.
it is awful.
I'm not even sure because there was that rumor. I think that the Mac Mini Pro has been scrapped. Because we heard a lot about that at the beginning of 2021, and then not really. I have not heard much about it since.
I
do you
saw
have
something.
Have you heard stuff?
I'm trying to think. It was like probably September or August. I saw some stuff on it, but I don't know if that could have been old actually.
Because I mean, there's no way they're not going to do Mac Mini, Mac Mini Pro, Mac
just
Pro
makes no
Mini,
sense.
Mac Pro. That's an idiotic naming scheme, and even Apple wouldn't be daft enough to do that.
We can hope.
What if you could like stack the Mac Minis?
I think the Mac Mini that we're gonna get with the design that you worked on, I think that is functionally as pro as the Mac Mini needs to get.
I think so too. The other one was
M1
just
Max,
it didn't
it'll be
fit.
totally
Like
fine.
the 3 Mac Minis. I don't know. Maybe that's like a special server version. Maybe that is like a stackable one. I don't know.
Maybe that was one of the designs they were working on for the Mac Pro. I mean, we heard a cube.
It's possible, yeah.
That would be roughly the size of 3 stacked Mac Minis.
Yeah. It did
Our
not.
render was a cube.
Yes. This is taller than a cube, and it doesn't have the holes.
Yeah.
It literally it looked like you just like extruded it upwards.
Speaking of extruded, one thing that I have pretty high confidence. I don't know if you were made aware of this, but apparently there's a hexagon. According to someone that we both know, who I'm talking about, Ian. Apparently, Apple tested a Mac Pro hexagon.
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Yeah. All right. Take that for what you will, people.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Curious.
I'll text you later.
Hexagon.
They
should do a rhombus.
It's actually never mind. Okay. Anyway.
I'm just making Ian sweat now.
I'm gonna be fired.
Look at him over there. I've heard about a hexagon and he's freaking out about it. Anyway, what I'm like looking forward to is I want there to be a new HomePod. This is me changing the subject.
Yeah. I've heard some stuff too. Similar.
What about a new HomePod?
Yeah, similar from other people.
I was joking. Look at that. That's content right there.
Oh, yeah. Like it's basically I heard similar to Gurman. Like a iPad on a stick.
I don't get that. It's similar. Does Amazon has one? The Facebook portal is kind of like that. I think those devices are goofy.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially like it being on an arm. Like imagine you like in FaceTime, it could be like the new version of Center Stage. It could like go like that.
Yeah, I can't imagine like Apple, like, well, would it run iPad OS? Because then why would you not just get an iPad? And if it's not going to run iPad OS, like they're going to make a special operating system. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I see that as an Apple product when they already make iPads.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. So here's the thing. Why would you need an iPad on the stick? Why would they want to sell you an iPad on a stick when they could just sell you an iPad and then you could just put it on a stick?
They could sell you the stick too if they want.
Oh, that would be cool. Like imagine. Wait. Okay. What if it's like
What if this new HomePod is just a base that you put your iPad on?
with
It's already
MagSafe,
got center stage.
Yeah,
which is what
MagSafe.
With MagSafe, which is what we're hearing because they're saying it's gonna have wireless charging.
Yo.
So it charges the iPad, it connects to the speaker, and then center stage is your camera. Bro, we just cracked it.
That could, I don't know if I see Apple doing that. That would be an awesome third-party product, but I would be kind of surprised if Apple did it. It would be cool, but I would be surprised. I'll just say that.
I think that would be kind of sick though. And it may, okay, think about this. Think about this. Think about this. The rumor is that iPads are not going to be portrait by default, that they're going to be landscape. So I don't have an iPad near me.
Oh,
Damn,
you're
One
right.
time I don't have an iPad within arm's reach.
I
But
just sold mine.
Terrible.
I have the Magic Keyboard.
like instead of having the camera on the short side at the top, it would be on the wide side, so that when
Yeah.
it's in the case, the camera's centered. Finally, it's the camera placement kind of ruins iPads as a FaceTime device for me, in my opinion.
I looked cross-eyed on Zoom every day. It was
Because it looks like you're sitting there, you log
was
in and you're
rough.
like this.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's up?
really
How's it going? How's everyone doing today? It looks so dumb. So
no. I know.
if they move that camera up there, and then you have a MagSafe iPad docking center that connects to that speaker, and then you've got like your portal.
That would be
That
sick.
makes sense.
Oh, that would be really cool.
It's a cool idea. I would be very surprised if it happened, but I'm not saying it shouldn't.
Okay, but here's the
happen.
thing though, Noah. It's like we're like the rumor for that like iPad on a stick HomePod is out there. We're just adopting it to make it make more sense. Because I can't see Apple selling you a Facebook portal.
Right.
I could see them selling you a mounting station for your iPad. That seems
yeah,
more
it's
believable to
possible.
me.
It's more believable, definitely. It's possible.
Also, Noah, I do have to ask. I noticed you have wall panels up behind you. Did you or did you not put those up 2 minutes before we went live?
I did, as always.
Wall-
And you know what was funny?
He
Because
has like non-stick Teflon paint or something on his walls.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but I have to put them up every week. And then sometime between last episode and this episode, they fell down, but I'm home alone. I've been home alone for the past week and a half, so it like
Oh,
scared
no.
me because I was like, oh, I heard it, and I was like, it's probably the wall panels, but I like grabbed.
Could be a
I was like-
burglar.
I was like creeping down there. I was like, all right, let's whatever. But it was just the wall panels. So
We've got a challenge here. Ian, make a concept. Are you bored?
Not really, but all right.
All right. Well, if Ian's bored, maybe he'll make a concept of it.
that'd be
I
cool.
have
Yeah.
a lot of other. Oh my god, I can't speak. I have a lot of other concepts I've been thinking of, but that's pretty cool.
Oh, this is a busy man here. He's got a big old list.
Well,
Yeah,
at
I
least he
mean,
had time to come
not
on our
interesting.
podcast tonight.
He sure did. And speaking of our podcast tonight, Noah, I think
Mhm.
it's time to wrap it up.
I think so as well.
The
Oh my God.
aforementioned podcast.
Has it really been
Tonight.
an hour?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, buddy. It happens fast, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like the first 20 minutes go by slowly and then the rest 40 minutes go in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
ever get
definitely.
that
No,
sensation,
definitely.
Noah?
Every week. 100%.
Because every episode I'm like, wow, it's only been 20 minutes. What are we going to talk about? And then it's over.
Yep. Yeah.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
But I have been your host, Luke Mian New Year.
I've been your host, Noah Newbin.
And I've been your host, Ian's Elbow.
You're not a host. You're a guest.
I'm a guest. Sorry.
You're below us. Look, when I click on this button, where are you? You're below us, where you belong.
Oh no.
You feel like John right now, moving everyone around.
Yeah, I have all the power here.
We're not gonna have any guests on here anymore if
Yeah,
if you
now
treat
no
them
one's
like
gonna want to
this.
come here to be degraded.
No, I took over. I'm just a new host. I'll be here every week.
Oh my god, I can't believe this. We've been podcast jacked.
That was not
Jack.
clever.
That does not. That does not
Podjack.
work. Anyway, we got to end before this gets weirder.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Ian, for joining us. It was a lot of fun. Our first ever guest. How does it feel?
Feels good.
You know what else feels good? This being the final sentence of the podcast. Good night.
Good night.
You idiot.
Good night.
No!